Anyway, let's go ahead and hear the first piece, because what he's going to talk about is all those people that took from the government and they made it, and now they're trying their best not to give back. Check this out, and then we will talk about it on the other side. Well, let's see. We'll talk about it on the other side with Scott Galloway.
Scott, in your new book, you discuss the hold that you say big tech has over the American economy and why you're still hopeful for the country's future. You write in part this, though. The nation once idolized astronauts and civil rights leaders and inspired hope and empathy. Now it worships tech innovators who generate billions of dollars and move financial markets. The elites are digging in, protecting their growing fortunes from the risks the very markets they claim to support. Although it's out of fashion, I remain an American exceptionalist. This country really is different in ways that make it a city on a hill, a beacon for the optimistic and the innovative. I often say that optimism is America's superpower, and this optimism really is powerful. Science tells us that it can extend an individual's life by 8 years. Imagine what 330 million optimists can accomplish. I don't disagree, but I want to back up and ask you what the biggest risk is from modern technology.
Well, as a society becomes wealthier and more educated, its reliance on the super being and church attendance goes down. But our questions, Mika, remain as complicated as they've ever been. And so into that void slips technology. I don't understand how my iPhone works, but I know it's amazing. And I would argue that the new Jesus Christ of our era are Steve Jobs and Elon Musk. And it's important to have heroes. But it's fairly apparent that technology companies and our tech innovators get to play by a different set of rules. They engage in antitrust and monopoly abusive behavior. They commit securities fraud on Twitter. They are the first to criticize our government, not appreciating that whether it's Google, Apple, or Tesla, it was EV credits, incredible forward-leaning investments from our great middle class into GPS or DARPA, the internet, or dividends from the space program, that essentially they've created a thin layer of innovation on top of great American middle-class investors in the form of the most successful VC in history, the U.S. government. Our most loyal Americans are veterans because they've invested the most in America. Unfortunately, I find that our least patriotic individuals are our most blessed, and that is tech innovators who are the first to criticize the country that has given them so much. So I would argue we need more regulation around technology companies, and generally speaking, we need to push back on tech leaders who say government should just get out of the way. They didn't ask us to get out of the way when we gave them $450 million loans to start their companies, structure acts to build charging stations or EV tax credits. America is by far the only place you could get traction that these companies have enjoyed. And I believe that it's time for them to start recognizing that incredible blessing of what it means to start a company and be a citizen here in the United States.
Now, again, that answers your question, Mike Cisak. A lot of the success of these guys were based on government investment in not only education at universities, but tax breaks given so that their starters could get off the ground. We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead. Number one, subscribe to our channel. And number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.